So I'm a facilitator, but what does a facilitator actually do? On the inside, being a facilitator for over 10 years, it's easy to forget that it's just not a really super common job. And so I'm going to start out by reading a definition that I like from somebody else. So this is a definition from the ICA UK, just what is facilitation? Facilitation is a set of skills to be used in working with a group, enabling and supporting them to achieve their objectives in a way that involves and respects all contributions, builds ownership, and releases the potential of the group and its members. So I think that's quite a nice definition, even though it's a bit wordy. But essentially what a facilitator is doing, it's a person who can come into a group scenario where something needs to get done and facilitates the actual getting doneness of the whole thing. What a really bad definition. Essentially, I'll get a call from a company. They'll say, we've been working on this challenge for a couple of months with a group. It's going nowhere. Can you come in and facilitate a workshop for us so we have an outcome? Essentially, what I'll do as a facilitator is I'll build a workshop. We've got tons of books and everything's free. Just go to workshopper.com. You can learn how to build workshops. I build a workshop. I go there and I facilitate the session with the team or on Zoom, and I help them solve these problems, make these decisions in a much smoother and calmer way than they would be able to do if it was just an open meeting. And essentially, it's a facilitator is someone who can come in and just help people get stuff done. That's really what I do. That's really the sort of thing I do. And people often ask in the comments, like literally what types of things I'm doing as a facilitator or the other facilitators we train. What do they do? Well, I run leadership retreats. Leadership retreats are, where executive level people at a company will ask me to come and run a 3-day leadership retreat with them to come up with their strategy for the year, or just to get to know each other a little bit better, or to help bring departments together and share information. It could be going to a company in Silicon Valley who has a product challenge and working with their product team to help them figure out what to do next when there's lots and lots of different options. It could even be doing a retrospective with my own team here at AJ&Smart about what went well and what didn't go so well on a specific project, rather than just doing that as a meeting where there might be some tension, and facilitating a session like that really makes sure all of the information gets out and is visualized. I mean, that's one of the best parts of doing a workshop. Whether you're doing it remote or in person, you're visualizing the data so you can actually make decisions. And essentially my role as a facilitator is to be the guide in these situations. I'm not always coming in and consulting and saying, this is what you should be doing. I'm the guide. I'm taking a step back. I'm just offering the framework for getting things done as a facilitator and by designing workshops. I'm not saying this is the answer to the question. And that's something people get confused with. Facilitators are not necessarily consultants. Sometimes I take that role. Sometimes I take the role of the facilitator and the consultant who's also giving advice. But in many cases, for example, at a leadership retreat, when someone's asking me to facilitate and design a leadership retreat for someone, I find it really hard to say leadership retreat as an Irish person, by the way. There's too many R's in there. But if I'm doing a leadership retreat, I'm not there to tell these people this is what they should do. I'm just there to provide a nice framework and a nice custom workshop for them to be able to run this. And so that team can unlock their superpowers and unlock their ideas and feel heard and actually enjoy the session together. So another thing people ask is like, what types of facilitators are there? And because this is not a really well-defined role at the moment, I think in a couple of years when people are watching these videos, they'll be like rolling their eyes because it's just so common. But today, as we're recording this in 2021, it's still kind of not clear. There's a lot of different types of facilitators. There's facilitators working in corporate environments. They might not be called facilitators right now. They might be called Agile coaches, design thinking coaches. Even sometimes project leads or project managers or product managers take these roles as a facilitator within a company. We are starting to see a lot more just facilitators and innovation facilitators or getting things done specialists within companies at the moment. But right now it's a bit of a mix all over the place. It could be really, like I said, an Agile coach, Scrum Master. It really can be anything. It's anyone who's essentially facilitating conversations with teams at companies to help them get more things done in a more calm way. Now, on the outside of companies, there's freelance consultants like, a lot of the people we train at AJ&Smart, and they can really be facilitators that can pretty much do anything, like running leadership retreats or helping companies with their product challenges or running, for example, team building exercises or whatever, company parties. Like they're essentially generalist facilitators. And there are also then facilitators who specialize in specific areas. Like I did in the beginning, I specialized in the area of product design because that's what my company, AJ&Smart, in the beginning was focused on. We were a product design agency. Right now we're more into strategy, but we were 100% product design focused. That was my specialty, which was product design. I accidentally got into facilitation. So I would say if I would think about my specialization where I'm like strongest, it's when I'm working with product teams. So I'm someone who sort of leans a little bit more towards product teams. We've got a lot of people in our communities who are organizational psychologists, people who are better at like focusing on medical industry, people who are focused on working with governments. It's kind of all over the place. And for me, that's why facilitation's so exciting, is because you can kind of jump to a different industry, jump to a different kind of slice or vertical where you want to work, like gaming or finance, because this facilitation skill is something that sort of underpins all of those things and just makes you super, super flexible. And with facilitation, you can add it on to what you do already. I mentioned that I sort of added it on to my product design skills and product strategy skills, but we have people in our community who've added it on to completely random skills, like someone who's a developer has added facilitation onto themselves. Someone who's a psychologist has added facilitation. There's a lot of people from different backgrounds who've decided, okay, I like what I do, but I want to add this other layer where I can, increase my day rate or do more interesting things, or even quit the company I'm in and do a lot more freelancing. So it's really something you can just add on top of what you already do. And it's a soft skill. There are some like very clear tactics on how to be a good facilitator and how to build workshops, but it is a soft skill versus something like programming, which is actually very difficult. I would never come on YouTube and say, oh yeah, it's just read this simple tiny book and then you'll know how to do C++ or whatever. Facilitation is something where with a little bit of practice and with a little bit of knowledge and hopefully even some things from our channel or our ebook down below, you can learn it pretty quickly and start applying it pretty quickly to what you already do today. So I think that's really everything I can think about to tell you about like what is a facilitator and what is facilitation. I hope that answers a lot of these questions. If you have any other questions, let us know in the comments. If you like this video, give us a like. And if you also want to learn more about facilitation, down below this video, we have a free facilitation guide. Download that, read that. It will give you a bit of a kickstart into the world of facilitation. So thanks a lot for watching this video. See you later.